YouTube. It's been quite a morning for me. I hope yours is going better. I had nothing but trouble getting this set up. I was in the middle of recording it the first time, and my low battery message kept coming on, and so I was trying to get rid of that and didn't realize it was still recording. Then all of a sudden it started recording me in slow motion, which I found out later. And then at one point the tripod fell over. So I must really love you to persevere through that. Well, then I just recorded it again, only I was recording it on photo and not on video. So I'm starting over again. But the funny thing is, when I started it the first time, the first thing I said was that I have to admit that it takes me longer to set up the camera in a good spot and to actually decide what I'm going to say than it does to actually say it. And that's just not true anymore. So anyway, I have mentioned that I want to share stories of times that God provided for me physically and emotionally, because he does both. And I don't think we're even often aware of how many of the things that bring us comfort came directly from the Lord. But I had a situation many years back where there was no denying it. I love those stories. The ones where you can't deny that God is in them are the best. So I think it was 2007 when I wrote my first book. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. And what the publishing companies do, this was Hope Communications in Alabama or someplace, is they send you a box of complimentary books. I can't remember if it's 25 or 50. It's whatever your contract says. And it's so that you can go do book signings and, pass them out to friends and whatnot. So I opened the book, and it's the first time I saw the cover, because the art department does the cover. You don't really have any input on that. And I couldn't believe what they'd come up with. It was so beautiful. The book was A Whisper in Winter, and it was a blue cover with these hands. It was just gorgeous. But my name was on it, which is absolutely surreal. You can't even imagine what that feeling feels like unless you've gone through it. So I held the first book up, I picked it up and held it in my hands and just shook my head and tried to come to terms with the fact that my name really was on that. And then though, I had this really overwhelming feeling of sadness. And it had to do with my mom, who had died when I was 26. And really, my mom had been my biggest champion, my biggest supporter, my biggest encourager, and the one who always told me, Shannon, you can do anything you put your mind to. She said that over and over, which I think is why now I really like trying all sorts of different things. And actually, life is just not long enough, because I would love to be a concert violinist. I would love to be a master gardener, but I can't live to be 900. So those things are probably not going to happen, but I've tried. So I was trying to teach myself violin for a short time. Anyway, my mom is behind all of that. And to not have her in my life when I do succeed at something or have some big exciting moment has really been so hard. So this was one of those times, and I really longed to hear her voice. I longed to hear the words I knew she would say. I knew she'd say, Shannon, I'm proud of you. I knew she'd say, your writing is excellent, or, the book is so interesting, or whatever, when I gave her a copy, because that's just my mom. That's just how she was. But her voice had been stilled for a long time, and I couldn't bring it back to myself. So I was kind of sad about that all week. It kept coming up in my mind. And at the end of that week, on Sunday, I was scheduled to teach Sunday school. And I'd planned this little activity with the kids where I needed a plastic cover that was colored, if that makes sense. Like just you could see through it, but it had a color to it. And I don't even know why I remembered it. It just popped into my mind that I thought I had something in my college file that had a cover like that, which was weird in itself because I hadn't thought about that in a long time. Anyway, we had a building behind our house, and it was a storage shed, and I had files in there with just all those old things you keep. And I knew that one of those had my diploma in it. So I went looking for that, and sure enough, there was this report, and it had a blue colored see-through, but blue plastic cover on it. And I thought, great, this is exactly what I need. So I opened it up, and it was this report I'd had to write for my children with disabilities class for elementary education. The professor assigned each of us a disability and the sex of the child, and then we picked the name. So I had this little boy I named Alex, and he was severely vision impaired. So what I was to do was to write about our week together, where we went, what we did, a diary, and it was to show how his disability impacted all the things that we were doing that week. So I'm wordy, some of my friends would tell you that. I'm not succinct. And it was big. It was like that big when I was done. And for whatever reason, I don't know why I saved it. I don't. But it was there. So I threw the report in the garbage because I didn't need that anymore, and took the cover and went off to Sunday school, and all was well. We did the activity. It was fun. And then later that day, I happened to go back out to that little storage spot and noticed that because I'd thrown that report in the garbage was now overflowing. So I reached down to pick it up. I was going to take it in the house, and the report had separated itself into two halves like this. And as I was picking it up, I looked down, and there was this half sheet of paper in the middle. So I picked it up, and I turned it over, and there was my mother's beautiful handwriting. And she wrote, "Shannon, Dad and I really enjoyed reading your report. I'm so proud of you. You really write well. Love, Mom." And I'm sure I cried. I don't remember now, but it was amazing to hold in my hands the words that I had all week been longing to hear from my mom. God alone can bring back a voice and a message when a loved one is gone. And there was her voice, and there was that message of encouragement and support and love that I needed. It was just a really amazing moment to me, because there's really no reason I should have found that when I needed it like that. But that's how God works. He directs us exactly where we need to be. We never need to doubt that. Nothing we do can thwart what God wants to do in our lives and where He wants to lead us. And so I just needed it. He brought it. That's how He is. My really dear friend Stephanie, who I've been friends with for almost 50 years now, I can't believe it. She was visiting us when all this happened, and it was after that. She visited us, and I told her what happened and showed her the note, and she said, "I will be right back." And she drove to the store and came back with a framed that note for me, and it's sitting on my desk at home right now. So anytime I need it, there it is. So I hope that you are encouraged by that, and know that God knows all your little sad moments and all the times that you need that encouragement, and is completely capable of bringing those things to you. Well, I hope your day goes great, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye-bye.